My name is Ash. I'm 29. I'm thinking it's about time I stop referring to myself as a recent grad and transition to the, at this point, more accurate adult who is not doing too well. The most significant thing I've done post-grad is develop and subsequently kick a coke habit. Thank you. It was bad, but not bad enough to get into business school. So, rat candy it is. I used to do a lot of cocaine and Percocet, so if you did not already know I was half white, that would certainly be your tell. A lot of times people who know me now, they're like, Ash, you don't strike me as someone with a hard drug history. And I'm like, look, my drug past is kind of like Michael Jordan's baseball career. Right? It was not his main thing. It's certainly not what he's known for, but it was significant enough that we cannot not talk about it. I knew I was in a bad place with my drug use when I started agreeing with musicians during the wrong parts of the movies about their lives. I was watching the James Brown movie, and there's a scene where his wife is like, James, you gotta stop doing crack. And I was like, ma'am, with all due respect, he just wrote, I feel good. From my perspective, he's pretty locked in right now. I think we should let him cook. I was struggling with my Percocet use. I was really struggling with my Percocet use until I saw another little indie darling film. You maybe have never heard of it, but maybe you have. Clap if you've ever heard of The Fault in Our Stars. We got some lovers in the house. For those unfamiliar, for those without a heart, The Fault in Our Stars is about two lovers, Hazel Grace and Gus. They are two terminally ill patients at this hospital, and where modern medicine fails them, modern love ultimately will also fail them. That's a nice distraction. And there's a scene where Gus puts a cigarette in his mouth, in between his lips, even though the whole reason he's in the hospital is because he was like born without lungs or something like that. And Hazel Grace is like, Gus, spit out that cigarette. You don't have lungs. And he's like, Hazel Grace, shut the fuck up. This is a metaphor. I take the thing that does the killing and I put it in between my lips, but I don't light it. I don't give it the power to do the killing. And in that way, he reclaims power over it. And I was watching at home like, yo, that's deep. I'm gonna take that and use it to reclaim power over my vice. But it turns out this method does not work if your vice is Percocet. Because if you put a Percocet between your lips, you're just taking a Percocet. It's kind of step one. I also used to struggle with my drinking, if you can believe that, 2 for 2 here. When I drink a lot because when I'm sober, I feel insecure, I feel anxious, and I feel like people don't like me. But when I'm drinking, I feel funny, I feel confident, and I feel like people like being around me more, which is crazy because no one's ever said that to me. No one's ever been like, Ash, I love how you don't remember any of our conversations. I think that's really cool. I knew my drinking was getting out of hand. A couple years ago when we were coming out of lockdown, I started having a lot of nights out where the next morning I was scared to check my bank account. You know, that kind of night that gets away from you. And I was upset because I hadn't done that sort of thing since college. I remember the last time it happened to me in college, I had a night out. It got away from me. I checked my bank account the next morning and I was down $300, which in college money is like $3 million. And I thought, no way. Even at my worst, I wouldn't just randomly spend $300 on alcohol, right? I checked my wallet, my debit card was gone, and I thought, aha, a crime happened here. Clearly there's a thief afoot. So I go to the last bar I remember being at, I open the door, as soon as my foot touches the ground, the bartender looks up and goes, oh, this fucking guy! Bad sign. Bad sign, right? It's not like good news was gonna follow. It's not like he was gonna go, oh, this fucking guy drank a lot, but not too much. And respected both himself and everybody in this bar. That's not what happens. He goes, come here. I bet you feel like ass right now. But what you did, it takes balls. What a horrifying thing to hear with no context. I was like, what happened? He goes, you had 9 shots of pineapple vodka. disgusting. And then you got up on the bar and yelled, everybody, Bud Light's on me! And then everybody had a Bud Light on you. Now, I was upset for a couple of reasons, right? One, because it turns out I was the thief in this story. Thought it was a whodunit, no dice, me did it. And two, what kind of bargain brand baller shit is that? To have the audacity to get up on a bar and be like, everybody, drinks on me! Bud Lights only, though! I'm not made of money. Thankfully, that hasn't happened to me recently, though. I had a night a couple weeks ago that got away from me. I checked my bank account the next morning. I was not down $300, but I did have 4 individual charges of $3.99 from Amazon.com that I had no recollection of. So I went over to Amazon to see what I got me. And it turns out that I rented, not buying, rented in one night the 2004 Will Smith blockbuster vehicle iRobot 4 times. So after this show, iRobot's on me, everybody. I got one more thing, and then I'll get out of here. I've been dating again recently. I don't usually talk about dating on stage because historically I've been the problem. It would kind of be like Godzilla getting up here and saying, you ever notice how downtown Tokyo is always so fucked up?